Good morning. We are calling the meeting of the Board of Regents of Del Mar College to order at 10 a.m. This is a special called meeting being held by video and teleconference in accordance with guidance from the offices of the Governor and Attorney General of the state of Texas. Members of the public are not attending this meeting in person, but may view this meeting online or listen to the audio of the meeting, and that information was provided in advance with the agenda. I'm going to call roll by name, and so it asks the regents to unmute microphones. Regent Adami.
I'm here.
Regent Averett.
Here.
Regent Bennett.
Here.
Regent Estrada.
Here.
Regent Hutchison.
Here.
Regent Salinas is absent today. Regent Scott, Sherwood.
Here.
And Regent Scott. So we do have a quorum and can conduct business. Would you please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you. And please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please join me in reading the Del Mar College mission statement. Del Mar College will be the
premier choice for
one
education
opportunity provided by responsive,
innovative,
to empower students to improve local and global communities. Del Mar College is streaming the live audio and video from the official Board of Regents meeting on the college's website in real time, with the exception of portions of the meeting as may be considered closed session by statute. We do have one public comment for this morning's meeting. I'm going to ask staff to open the mic and allow Mr. Carlos De Leon to make his comment. On Mr. De Leon, we'll try.
Yes, I'm sorry. I did tell you about that. I had it off, and you told me to turn it on. Yes, are y'all there?
We can hear you, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Unmuted.
Yes, we're here. Please talk.
Okay.
Please.
Yes,
Muted.
pod that y'all have found out there is a pod that I have been working on for 14 years with Google, Facebook, Twitter. That pod, you know, Google, Facebook, Twitter, they all took in their share. They did what they did. They left me the trash.
Unmuted.
Little man, I didn't have too much of IT tech knowledge about it, but they did tell me to do this. I've held it and I hid it for 14 years, and it came out when we needed it. I'm willing to help with it as long as I get my part out of it. And I believe also that it's going to take at least $2 trillion to get the bank for the global region, because I am working on with the global region, because I work with the 75 the UN 75 delegates with CDC and everything like that. I'm the one that had created the API. Ain't that great that I'm from Texas? But that them being said, I would like to talk to y'all privately to determine what with my partners. Well, when we can get with my partners, that way we can talk with them also. And I am willing to help out, like I said. Are y'all there?
Yes, sir. Does that conclude your comments?
Yes, ma'am. That's all I wanted to make sure that y'all know that somebody is out here that does represent it, you know, that does know about it. And if y'all do mind, I'm pretty sure that the big tech got a hold of y'all, it'll be all right. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of nervous. I've been telling everybody, and nobody believed me. I called Bandits. I've called the Texas. I've sent an email to the congressman here from Texas. Nobody answers me. Bandits and them told me that I'm crazy. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know what to tell them. And so I kind of like, I'm glad that y'all saw that meeting posted online last night on the internet. So I appreciate y'all giving me the chance to talk, and thank y'all.
All righty. Thank you very much, Mr. De Leon. All right, Regents, we will proceed with our agenda for this meeting. We do have 4 separate meetings today with 4 different agendas. This first one is a closed session for legal consultation, and I'll be calling that language in just a moment. We do have a meeting at 11 a.m., which is the public hearing on our budget. And then at 11:30 a.m., a called meeting and public hearing on the tax rate. And then at 12 noon, we will have our meeting to adopt the ordinances related to budget, tax hearing, and take up other business. So for today's meeting, I do have, excuse me. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting, the board into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071 regarding pending or contemplated litigation or legal claims or a settlement offer and the seeking of legal advice from counsel on legal matters with possible action in open session, and under Texas Government Code 551.089 regarding security assessments, deployments, or audits related to information resource technology or the design, operation, or defense of a computer network, certain network security information, the deployment or specific occasions for implementation of security personnel, critical infrastructure, or security devices, or information, other information confidential under the Texas Government Code sections 2059.055 and 552.139 with possible discussion and action in open session. The time is now 10:07 a.m. and we will allow just a few minutes for staff to log off and allow us to go into closed session. Thank you. We have finished our closed session during our called meeting, and the board is back in open session at 11:01 a.m. with no business or action coming out of closed session. That meeting is adjourned. We are immediately calling to order the called meeting and public hearing on the adoption of the budget at 11:01 a.m. In the we have made available the opportunity for the public to be here in person and or to call in and register to make a public comment. At this point in time, I'm going to declare that we have a quorum of the regents in attendance, and we can conduct business. The board is live streaming the audio and video from this official Board of Regents meeting on the college's website in real time, with the exception of portions of the meeting considered as closed session by statute. So we will keep the telephone line open until 11:15 a.m. for anyone who might call in to provide public comment on the budget. But at this point in time, we are going to hear a wrap-up presentation from Mr. Raul Garcia. But I want to say Dr. Escamilla has opening comments. Just go straight to Dr.
Just straight to Mr. Garcia for the sake of time, Madam Chair.
All righty. Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Yes. Scott, Mr. President, members of the Board of Regents, good morning. The college is at the final stages for adopting the 2021 budget plan. We will begin today with a budget presentation, transition to public comments on the budget, followed by an action item for the discussion and approval of the budget. The presentation has been scaled down from the budget workshop presented that was held back in August the 3rd. With that said, Dr. West will now lead us into the next slide.
Okay, can you go to the next slide? Let's see, the next slide. The slide with the strategic initiatives. There you go. Okay, we presented this slide in previous presentations, so I will summarize the high points. The budget team began working with Dr. Christina Wilson's team last year to strengthen our resource allocation process so that we are budgeting strategically. And this is to ensure that we have adequate resources to support the strategic plan initiatives of the college. So now, and starting in last year, the budget requests, new budget requests must be tied to strategic plan initiatives. And so this slide shows the continued funding of the new budget requests for FY 2020 tied to goals of the strategic plan. And then we also added the new budget requests for FY 2021. And so this year that was minimized because the budget's flat, was supposed to remain flat. And so we have the increases to employee compensation, insurance premiums, electricity, and funds for the board election year. And I'll turn it back to Raul.
Yes, thank you, Dr. West. Mr. Johnson will now go over the M&O revenues on the next slide. John, if you can turn on your mic, please.
I apologize. Good morning. As is apparent from looking at this slide, the college is proposing a maintenance and operating budget with no increases over the previous year. Due to uncertainties in the current economy, the college wanted to minimize hardships felt by so many people within the community. Specific assumptions used by each of these categories. One, state appropriations during the last legislative appropriations were set for the biennium, although the governor had requested a 5% reduction from state agencies. Community colleges were specifically excluded. Accordingly, there was no change in state appropriations. Tuition and fees. Historically, the college has seen a growth in enrollment during economic downturns. Due to the uncertainties caused by COVID-19, the college felt it best to budget for a flat enrollment growth. Although the college raised tuition by a modest $2 per semester hour, no new revenue was budgeted due to possible unknown declines in enrollment. Property taxes, as previously stated, due to the current economic uncertainties, the college wanted to give as much relief to the local property taxpayers by scaling back the M&O rate from 0.211260 to 0.205296, or a decrease of 0.005964. Due to the increase in property values, the new construction, the college was able to reduce the rate while maintaining the same tax revenue. Under the miscellaneous category, we don't anticipate any specific changes in that area. We've had significant revenues in the prior year budget, which was the same amount, which was actually over our budget, so we felt fine under that category. Are there any specific questions?
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Next is Jackie Landrum, who will close out the budget presentation for us. Jackie, if you will, please.
Thank you. Good morning,
On the next
everyone.
slide.
Can we go to the next slide, please?
Next slide, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So for our expense budget, we haven't changed any of this since our last meeting. And since we are remaining flat this year, what we did was a resource reallocation to fund our mission critical cost. We actually reallocated a little over 2.2 million of our current budget to fund these costs. And these costs include the election expense, the increased insurance, electricity and utilities for our new buildings, and our proposed salary increases. So the category that has been most impacted by this reallocation is travel. And that's because we're not anticipating a lot of travel next year due to COVID-19. So are there any questions on these two slides?
One question.
Yes, sir.
On the exempt salaries, I've gotten calls on that 9% increase. Could you explain that one?
Yeah, can you, I can take that one, Jackie, please. If you can take us to the previous slide, please.
And I'm here too, Raul. This is Tammy.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. So what it is we also have in this line item instructional costs that is not for in our normal course of business is not reported as faculty salaries. So what you see in there is the incremental costs associated with our continuing ed programs, our trucking programs, and a few other items. Tammy, is there anything else that I may have missed in explaining this?
Yes, I mean, this line item goes beyond the recommended increase to exempt staff. You know, an exempt staff, the category also includes all of the instructional employees that are in CE or workforce training programs or workforce training that we provide. So those employees are included in this exempt item. They're not included in faculty. So as Raul said, they are instructional related. I know in the CNA, which is the Certified Nursing Assistant program alone, which we serve, I want to say last count was over 12 school districts, that anticipated growth, we have at least 14 temporary full-time instructors in this coming year's budget to meet that need and that demand for those school districts. That alone is close to $700,000, and that's without benefits. So that's a big bulk of it. We do have a couple of extra needs for truck driving, welding. So those are all in the exempt categories because they're CE programs. They are not faculty status. So that's where the bulk of that goes. And we did have a couple of additional positions. I know we're hiring a new counselor. And so that is also in this exempt line item.
And so thank you, Tammy. So I also want to add that, you know, this incremental cost and instruction, again, instruction being a component of exempt salaries, is the vision that during an economic downturn, that these are the programs that scale up because we're training those individuals that are looking to return back into the workforce. And so that's what you're seeing there as well. Any other questions?
If I might make a suggestion, because we've had this question come up, I think just about every year. So in the future, there's a slide, a couple of slides down, the M&O proposed employee compensation. It would make sense to fill out, to maybe add to that slide what you're discussing here so that the detail level on the proposed employee compensation slide match the total salaries and benefits portion so that that is explained in detail every year and potentially could avoid confusion every year.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking to create a separate category of employee because what it is, it's a category of employee that doesn't fit in any of the monikers for the categories that we do have. And so we've already been working on that, and you'll definitely see that by next budget year to explain that. But they are instructional positions. Mr. Bennett, did that answer your question? I don't know if we got there or not.
It did. The calls I was getting were concerned. People were concerned that these people were getting a 9% raise. I said, no, that's not the case at all. But I wanted somebody to explain that.
Yeah,
So,
and Mr. Bennett, they can call me as well if they want. If you want to give them my number, if I can help you with answering those questions or anything like that, I'm certainly available for that. But
thank you
for the question.
Any other questions? Okay, Jackie, can you please continue on to the next slide? All right, I think it's the third slide down.
Thank you. Can we go down
Compensation.
more slide? Can we go one more slide, please?
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So for the proposed salary increases, we haven't changed anything on this slide either. So for full-time faculty, we're anticipating an increase of a little over 505,000. And for exempt and non-exempt employees, we're anticipating an increase a little over 245,000 with a total increase of a little over 750,000. Are there any questions on this slide? Okay.
Okay, Madam Chair, Mr. President, and members of the board, that concludes our presentation.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments that have registered? We're just about at the deadline for individuals who were going to call in. We do not have anyone here in person. I'm aware of that, but there are no public comments. Is there any question or comment from the board on this portion? We actually will not act on this portion of it at this meeting. We'll wait until our 12 noon meeting at which we adopt all of the action items related to the budget and the tax rate. I see no other questions. We want to wait just one more minute before we adjourn this meeting, and we'll give ourselves a little bit of break before we go into to the next meeting. So it is 11:15 a.m. We have received no public comments on the budget. We do not have anything for closed session during this portion of the meeting. So I will declare this meeting adjourned at 11:15 a.m. and we will reconvene at 11:30 a.m. Morning, Regents. The called meeting of the Del Mar College Board of Regents will convene at 11:30 a.m. Tuesday, August 25th for the purposes of a public hearing on our tax rate for the 2020-21 fiscal year. In accordance with guidance from the Attorney General and Governor of the State of Texas, members of the board are meeting via teleconference. Members of the public have been invited to attend in person if they would like to make a comment on the tax rate, and have also been given an opportunity to phone in during that time period as well. I will do a roll call since we had a break from the previous meeting, so please unmute your mics and respond when called. Regent Adami?
Here.
Regent Averitt?
Here.
Regent Bennett?
Here.
Regent Estrada?
Here.
Regent Hutchison?
I'm here.
Regent Salinas? Regent Sherwood?
Here.
And Regent Scott. So we do have a quorum and can conduct business. The Del Mar College is streaming live audio and video from the Official Board of Regents meeting on the college's website in real time, with the exception of portions of the meeting is considered post-session by statute. So we will, again, the phone lines open between 11:30 a.m. and 11:45 a.m. for individuals who may want to provide public comment, and for any individual who may come to make that comment in person as well. We will ask Mr. Garcia to provide an overview of the tax rate information for fiscal year 2020-2021. Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am. Can we put up the slide, please? Thank you. The college is at the final stages for adopting the 2021 tax rates. We will begin with a tax rate presentation and then transition to public comments on the tax rates, followed by an action item for the discussion and possibly approval of the tax rates. So let's get started on the next slide, please. So there's a wealth of information on this slide with the headliner that we are at a pivotal point whereby the tax burden will begin to spiral down. It begins with a reduction of 0.6 of a penny in the M&O tax rate for fiscal year 2021. This reduction is attributed to the college initiative to reduce spending and a new energy contract that will save the college approximately $500,000 per year for a total of $3.5 million over the 7-year contract period. Next item is the debt service tax rate increase of 0.8 of a penny in fiscal year 2021. This increase is mainly driven by capital finance for 2 voter-approved bond elections that dates back to November 4, 2014 and November 8, 2016 for various campus-wide capital projects and the new Southside campus. In essence, the capital investment will provide access to affordable degree and certificate programs, customized workforce development, and continued education opportunities for the successful educational advancement and lifelong learning needs of the citizens of our district well into the future. This is also true for the increase in the debt service tax rate in fiscal year 2019. Thanks to the prompt response of Madam Chair, the board, the president, to the new current low interest environment, the college was able to secure low interest costs when issuing the 2028 and 2020B bonds with interest costs of 2.45% and 2.68 respectively. To provide some perspective, the 2018A and the 2018 B bonds were issued at a total interest cost of 3.95 and 3.8 respectively. The rate difference, which is north of 1%, represents a reduced interest cost of $1.2 million for the first year and $17.8 million for the life of the bond issuance. The $17.8 million savings will go a long way with reducing the taxpayers' burden. Lastly, the change in the tax rate for the average homestead value at $171,244 is $13. Once again, this is driven by the change in the average taxable homestead value and the change in the debt service rate. Next is Mr. John Johnson, who will be our closer for this presentation.
Good morning again.
Next slide, please.
If you move to the, I think you're on the next slide. Yes. This slide shows the historical changes in the maintenance and operating property tax rate. Certain changes to the to what you've seen before have been made prior to this year. What's now called the no new revenue rate was previously known as the effective rate, which is the calculated rate that would provide the same amount of revenue if received in the year before on property taxed in both years. It excludes new construction. In response to the current economy and health crisis, the college has taken measures to scale back operating cuts, resulting in a low increase of 11/100ths of a penny on the M&O rate. Had the college not reduced its collection rate, there would have been no increases at all. Are there any specific questions on this slide? If not, going to the next slide. This slide shows the historical perspective of the total tax revenue for both M&O and debt service. As shown on the first row, no new M&O revenue dollars are included. The increase in debt service tax rate is specifically attributable to the debt service on the 2020 A and B bonds issued in July of this year. Total tax revenues will provide a total of $81.2 million in property tax revenue. The total tax rate will be 0.2886 per $100 valuation. The total tax increase of the previous year is approximately 0.8 of a penny. Are there any specific questions on this slide? If not, I will give it back to Mr. Garcia.
Mr. Garcia, you're on.
Yes, I am sorry about that. Madam Chair, Mr. President, and members of the board, this concludes our presentation.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from members of the board? We have a couple of more minutes until we can close our opportunity for public comment. I would like to once again thank the staff for the work that you did on the maintenance and operating side. I think that the challenges in front of us are great, and so to find the ways that you can cut some expenses, still providing some staff increases, I think it was very, very commendable on your part, and to end with a 11% increase over our no new revenue rate, I think is tremendous. And again, that's directly attributable to the tax collections. I think that the work that you all have done, Dr. Escamilla, Mr. Garcia, the entire staff in that regard is very commendable.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. I want to echo the sentiment. I want to thank the entire team, the entire college that's come together. We know that the lessons learned in the current environment will be used as we move ahead. We're not out of the woods by any means. We recognize that, and we continue to march forth with the next 24 months being as tenuous as they are, excuse me, in mind. We keep that in mind with every step we'll take into the next several academic years. Thank you for the kind words, Madam Chair.
I do have a question since we have a little time.
Yes, sir.
Raul, how much did we, what was the percentage rate on the last bonds that were issued?
The change in the tax rate?
No, the percentage rate of the bonds that we just issued.
Oh, the interest cost. Is that what you're referring to? Okay. So let me get back to my notes here. Bear with me a few minutes. Okay, so the 2018A was the interest cost, total interest cost is 3.95. The 2018B was 3.8%.
Okay, and those are the last ones we issued?
The last ones that were issued were the ones that we just issued in May, and that was the 2020 bonds. And the total interest cost on that is on the 2020A bond was or is 2.45%.
Excellent.
And on the 2020B is 2.68%. So
Wonderful.
a differential of about 1%, north of 1%.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes.
Regent Scott, can you hear me? This is Elba.
Yes, ma'am.
I also wanted to echo your feelings and thank Mr. Garcia and his staff for doing everything in their power to keep our tax rate low. So you've done a good job, Mr. Garcia. And thank you so much.
Thank you for the kind words, but I really owe it all to the team. You know, we had a committee. President was very insightful, and Lenore Key was very helpful. Jonda was helpful. Tammy, John Johnson, Jackie Landrum, and Dr. West. So that was just a committee, but really the entire college really came together and coming up with a bigger plan that is not only for this year, but the coming years in order to continue to sustain our operations. So it's really the entire team, but thank you for the kind words.
So Regents, we'll just pause. Just go ahead and mute yourself, and we'll pause for just a couple of minutes until we reach that 11:45 mark. As a heads up to Regents and other staff, we are going to go into closed session at 11:45 so that we can have a brief discussion on some items and use our time efficiently. So just wanted to give you all a heads up. So it is 11:45 a.m. Have we received any public comments on the tax rate? No public comments have been received on the tax rate. And so since we're not taking action at this meeting, we'll conclude that portion of the agenda. Regents will go into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071 regarding pending or contemplated litigation or legal claims or a settlement offer and the seeking of legal advice from counsel on legal matters with possible discussion and action in open session, and Texas Government Code 551.074 regarding the appointment, employment evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline, or dismissal of public officer or employee, including annual evaluation of the college president's contract, or appointment to fill vacancy in District 1 with possible discussion and action in open session. The time is 11:45 a.m. We take just a minute and quickly clear the room, please. We have come out of closed session from our 11:30 meeting at 11:56 a.m. There is no action. We are adjourning this meeting at 11:56 a.m. and will reconvene our last meeting of the day at 12 noon. We are calling to order the called meeting of the Board of Regents of Del Mar College at 12 p.m. Tuesday, August 25th by video and teleconference. Members of the public are not able to attend this meeting in person, but have been afforded the opportunity to view the meeting online or via telephone. In addition, we will take public comment that has been registered in advance of the meeting. I am going to call roll for the regents, please. Regent Adami.
Here.
Regent Averett.
Here.
Regent Bennett.
Here.
Regent Estrada.
Here.
Regent Hutchison.
I'm here.
Regent Salinas. Regent Sherwood.
Here.
And I'm Regent Scott. We have a quorum and can conduct business. I'm going to dispense with our opening ceremonies, as we have already done those at our earlier meeting today. And just remind that we are live streaming audio and video from the official Board of Regents meeting on the college's website in real time, with the exception of portions of the meeting as may could be considered closed session by statute. Were there any public comments received for this meeting? There have been no public comments received for this special called meeting. At this point in time, we are going to have discussion and possible action related to the order of the Board of Regents of Del Mar College regarding our 2020-2021 maintenance and operations budget and the 2020 and 2021 debt service budget. Mr. Garcia?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So for a number of weeks, we've been trying to navigate through the budget process. We started off on a good pace, and all of a sudden we were faced with this COVID-19 crisis. And so, we managed to regain our footing and have now come up with a budget that I believe is a reasonable ask under the circumstances, whereby we're going to remain with a flat level budget of 107.8 million or thereabouts, as we discussed earlier today. And it was no easy task. The members of the committee really came through at the end of the day, as well as members of the college community, to maintain a flat budget. And how we did that was really a reallocation of resources that had a strong focus on our strategic operating initiatives for the coming year. So with that said, we're presenting or bringing forward to the board an action item for consideration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garcia. And as we said in the previous meeting, we do appreciate the work that Dr. Escamilla, yourself, and all the staff have done to keep the maintenance and operations budget very conservative and very tight for the coming year. Regents, is there a motion to adopt the maintenance and operations budget and the debt service budget for fiscal year 2020 2021.
So moved.
Thank you.
I
Regent.
second.
Thank
This
you.
is Elba.
Thank you, Regent Estrada. Are there any additional discussion or questions regarding the budget items?
Madam Chair, you do have the order that's been presented to you and in connection with the motion. And
I thought specifically for the tax rate. I'm sorry, I apologize. Can you review that, or do you want to read that order for us, sir?
sure, this is the budgets 2020-21. Again, it's been provided to you, Regents, and it provides that be it ordered by the Board of Regents of the Del Mar College District that whereas budgets for the Del Mar College District have been prepared and submitted to the Board of Regents of the district in the manner required by law, and whereas a meeting has been held as a public hearing for the purpose of considering the adoption of a maintenance and operation budget and debt service budget, after public notice of such meeting is required by law, and whereas all taxpayers and other persons of the district desiring to do so have been given the opportunity to be present and to participate in such hearing, therefore that certain budgets presented to the board at this meeting and filed among the official documents of this district be, and it is hereby ordered as the budgets for the Del Mar College District for the fiscal year beginning September 1, 2020 and ending August 31, 2021. There are the customary notations for the roll call vote, as well as a signature for yourself, Regent Scott, and Dr. Sherwood.
Thank you. So that order was, that motion was made by Regent Averett and seconded by Regent Estrada. So given that specific order, are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, we will do a roll call vote in reverse order. I'm going to change it up. Regent Sherwood.
Yes.
Regent Hutchinson.
Yes.
Regent Estrada.
Yes.
Regent Bennett.
Yes.
Regent Averett.
Yes.
Regent Adami.
Yes.
And Regent Scott votes yes. So we have a unanimous vote on the adoption of that order for the budget. Our next item is the discussion and action related to the tax rate for 2021. Mr. Garcia.
Yes, ma'am. So, so this was a very difficult decision, in coming up with the tax rate. The college understands that hardship associated with the current health crisis and the current double-digit unemployment rates is having in our district. At the same time, we have a mission that we committed to our district and following through. And so, as mentioned previously, we shifted a lot of resources to those strategic initiatives that are of importance to the district. With that said, you have an action item that will support or provide the funding revenue stream in support of the recently approved budget for fiscal year 2020-2021.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garcia. Mr. Rivera, would you read the order related to the tax rate?
Yes, again, this has been previously provided to you, Regents, and has been discussed in the prior public hearing. It's the order of the Board of Regents of the Del Mar College on the tax rate for 2020. Be it ordered by the Board of Regents of the Del Mar College District that whereas the board has duly and properly considered a proposal to increase total tax revenues from properties on the tax roll in 2020 by 6.32%, and whereas the board is duly and properly called and held the public hearing required by the Texas Property Tax Code after giving the public notice required by the code and by law, and whereas all taxpayers and other persons desiring to do so have been given the opportunity to be present and to participate in such hearing, and whereas the board is duly and properly notice of these meetings as required by law. Now, therefore, the board hereby approves and adopts a proposal to increase total tax revenues from properties in the tax roll in the preceding year by 6.32%, thereby increasing the total tax rate to be levied for 2020 to 28 86/100 over 10,000, or 0.2886600 cents on each $100 property valuation in the district. This tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate. The tax rate will effectively be raised by 0.11% and will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a $100,000 home by approximately negative $5.96.
Regents, there is a specific motion that I am going to read and then ask if someone would be willing to make that motion. Move adoption of the order and move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.2886, which is effectively a 6.32% increase in the tax rate. Is there someone willing to make that motion?
So moved. This is Regent Sherwood.
Thank you, Dr. Sherwood. Is there a second to that motion?
I will second that. This is
Thank
Regent
you, Regent.
Hutchinson.
Being moved and seconded, are there any other comments or questions from Regents on that motion? This also will be a record vote. Regent Adami,
Yes.
Regent Averett,
Yes.
Regent Bennett,
Yes.
Regent Estrada,
Yes.
Regent Hutchison,
Yes.
Regent Sherwood.
Yes.
I'm Regent Scott voting yes. That vote is unanimous as well.
Thank you.
The third item on our agenda is discussion and possible action related to the order of the Board of Regents of Del Mar College for the 2021 tax levy of 0.2886 per $100 of taxable value for the Del Mar College District under tab number 3. Mr. Garcia?
Yes, so we have an action item to help us find, to fund our debt service payment as it relates to the various bond obligations that we have there, with the most current issuance of the 2020A and 2020B bond issuance that was issued a couple of months ago. So college is asking for a change in the debt service tax rate in order to fund our debt service moving for next fiscal year. So you have an action item for that.
This does not have specific, excuse me. So Mr. Rivera, you want to read that order, tax levy order?
Bear with me, this one's a little tricky, but it is an order that's been presented to you board members before the board meeting today, and it is an order on the tax levy for 2020 of the Del Mar College District. Be it ordered by the Board of Regents of the Del Mar College District that the following taxes are hereby levied for the year 2020 on all property, real, personal, mixed, located within the boundaries of the Del Mar College District and subject to taxation by it for the year 2020 under the laws of the state and of the United States. A total ad valorem tax of $28 and $8,600 over 10,000 cents, or 0.2886 cents on each $100 property valuation in the district for the purposes and in the specific amounts which follows. Number one, an ad valorem tax of 20 and 52.96 over 10,000 cents, or 0.205296 cents on each $100 property valuation for the local maintenance fund of the Del Mar College District. Number two, an ad valorem tax of 8 and 33 0/4 over 10,000 cents, or 0.083304 on each $100 property valuation for the interest and sinking fund of the Del Mar College District bonds, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2011, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2013, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2014, and Del Mar College District Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2015, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Bonds, Series 2016, Del Mar College Tax Bonds, Series 2017, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Bonds, Series 2018A, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Bonds, Series 2018B, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Bonds, Series 2020A, and Del Mar College District Limited Tax Bonds, Series 2020B. There's the usual and customary place for the record vote and your signatures as well, Regent Scott.
Thank you. There are no questions for Mr. Garcia or Mr. Rivera. Then I'd like a motion to pass the order related to the Del Mar College tax levy for our interest and sinking fund. Is there a motion?
So move.
Thank you, Mr. Donnie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by
This is
Sherwood.
Yes.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, this will be a record vote. Dr. Sherwood,
Yes.
Ms. Hutchison,
Yes, sorry.
that's all right. Ms. Estrada,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Dr. Adami,
Yes.
Mrs. Carol Scott, my vote yes as well, so that motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Lastly, our action item, we have a specific action item related to the tax exemptions. And I asked Mr. Garcia to review that as well.
Yes, thank you. The Texas Property Tax Code under Section 11 provides qualifying property or property owners for a variety of tax exemptions. The list of exemptions that you have before you include qualified charitable organizations under Section 11.18, qualified disabled veterans under Section 11.22, homestead exemptions under Section 11.13B, and then we also have persons 65 years or older under Section 11.13C, and then lastly, persons under 65 years of age who is qualified for payments of disability insurance benefits under Section 11.13D. A little bit more information about some of these exemptions. The qualified charitable organization provides an exemption from taxation of the assessed value of the property. It is used for religious, charitable, scientific, literally, or educational purpose. The qualified disabled veterans provides 5,000 to up to 12,000 exemption from taxation of the assessed value of the property that is owned by a disabled veteran of the armed services. The homestead exemption provides a 5,000 exemption from taxation on the appraised value of a person's residence homestead. The property tax code also allows Del Mar to provide an amount that is above the homestead exemption of 5,000. The college is proposing an additional amount of 50,000 to a person of 65 years of age or older, or a person who is under the age of 65 who qualifies for the payment of disability insurance benefits. This proposal is consistent with prior year's request. For our audience, for more information about the property tax exemptions, please contact the Nueces County Appraisal District to determine how you may qualify for an exemption. With that said, the college recommends moving forward with the proposed action item.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Mr. Rivera, you provided a resolution for the board. Would you please read that for us?
Yes, Regent Scott, as presented by Mr. Garcia, the resolution that's been provided to you, board members, reads as follows. It's a resolution of the Board of Regents of the Del Mar College District. Resolved that for the year 2020, all persons who qualify by law are granted an exemption in the amount of $5,000 of the appraised value of their homestead property, and resolved further that for the year 2020, persons of the age of 65 or older are granted an additional exemption in the amount of $50,000 of the appraised value of their homestead property, and qualified disabled veterans are granted the statutory exemption. And resolve further that for the year 2020, each person under 65 years of age who is qualified for the payment of disability insurance benefits as defined under Federal Old Age Survivors and Disability Insurance or its successor is hereby granted an additional exemption from taxation in accordance with Section 11.13D of the Property Tax Code, the total amount of which is equal to $50,000 of the appraised value of such person's residence homestead property, as that term is defined by the state constitution and law, provided the owner of such residence homestead property or his or her duly authorized agent or attorney applies at the office of the Nueces County Tax Appraisal District for said exemption in accord with the requirements established by the tax assessor collector or the Nueces County Tax Appraisal District as permitted by law. And resolve further that for the year 2020, each disabled veteran is entitled to the mandatory exemption provided in Section 11.22 of the Code. And resolve further that for the year 2020, each qualified charitable organization that has been granted exemption by the City of Corpus Christi is entitled to the tax exemption provided under Section 11.184 of the Texas Tax Code. That concludes the body of the resolution, and then there's the customary place for the recording of the vote. as well as your signatures. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rivera. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as presented? Regent Estrada?
I move that we approve the list of exemptions as presented.
Thank you very much. Regent Abrams, you second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments on this motion? Not, we'll do a roll call vote. Regent Adami?
Yes.
Regent Abrams?
Yes.
Regent Bennett?
Yes.
Estrada?
Yes.
Regent Hutchison?
Yes.
Regent Sherwood?
Yes.
I'm Regent Scott, and I vote yes as well. That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for, I know that's a little bit tedious, but it is important that we do it exactly correct. So I appreciate all of your support in that. The last action item on our agenda is discussion and possible action related to the appointment to fill vacancy in District 1. With the passing of our dear colleague, Gabriel Rivas III, we do have upon us the opportunity to fill that position. The term is in 2024. I've asked Mr. Rivera to review the process and the timeline for which the board discussed earlier in closed session, under which we will make that replacement decision. Mr. Rivera?
Thank you, Regent Scott. And I'd just like to add a personal note. You will never be able to replace Gabe, but I'm sure he would want you to do your duty and proceed forward. And so in that respect, here's a proposed timeline that's consistent with the timing and the steps that you have followed in prior appointments, board members. Today, August 25th, announced the opening of the appointment process and the response submission deadlines. September 8th by 10 a.m. That would be the deadline for interested applicants to submit a letter of interest, a resume, and up to 5 letters of reference. On September 22nd, in a special call board meeting at 1 p.m., the board would conduct interviews of the applicants in open session with the opportunity to deliberate in closed session and then to make a final decision on your appointment in open session. And by October 13th, I'm sorry, I keep putting 6 down. That was me that misguided you. By October 13th, at your October regular board meeting, you would be able to swear in and seat the new District 1 board member.
So with the correction, it is not October 6th. It would be October 13th that we would swear in that board member.
Right.
Are there any questions or comments from board members related to this proposed process and timeline?
Regent Scott, this is Regent Averett. I have a quick clarifying question. At that September 22nd meeting, will we be interviewing all applicants or will we have finalists at that point?
On September 8th, that is a regular board meeting date. In closed session on that date, we will review the applications that have come in and determine at that point if we are who we are interviewing, all or some subset of the applicants.
Thank you.
So if you'll make that correction, Mr. Rivera, in the
Duly noted. Yes.
process. Thank you. Regent Estrada, I see you have your mic open.
Sorry, it's not supposed to be opened.
That's okay. I just didn't know if you had a question. Are there any other questions or comments?
Regent Scott, for me to make a motion, I can do that.
Thank you very much. Yes. So you make a motion to approve as corrected.
And I second that.
Take your pick.
Thank you. I'll let Regent Hutchison second that. So the motion was made by Regent Estrada, the second by Regent Hutchison. Again, with the corrections on the September 8th process, we will review the applicants and determine if all or a subset of the applicants will be interviewed. And then October 13th is the date that the individual would be seated. I'd like to echo what Mr. Rivera said, that finding a replacement for a 20-year veteran of this board is going to be a monumental task. But I know that we know what Gabe would expect of us, in finding that someone to fill that unexpired term. And so I know that we can look for and rise to the occasion to find somebody to honor his service. So I appreciate all of you. We do not need to do a roll call vote for that. So if all those in favor would raise your hand. And any opposed, raise your hand. I see no opposition. So that motion is adopted as presented. So that's the end of our regular action item. We do have a couple of closed session items in this session. So the board will now go into closed session under Texas Government Code 551.071 regarding pending or contemplated litigation or settlement offer and the seeking of legal advice from counsel on pending legal or contemplated matters or claims with a possible discussion and action open session. And under Texas Government Code Section 551.074 regarding the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, including the annual evaluation of the college president, the college president's contract, and appointments to fill vacancies in District 1 with possible discussion and action in open session. The time is 12:24. We'll just take a couple of minute break to clear the room. Regents, the board is coming back into open session at 12:43 p.m. In accordance with our process, the board over the last several months has conducted the evaluation of Dr. Mark Escamilla, our college president. We concluded that evaluation in July, and as a result are ready to make specific recommendations related to his contract. Wanted to say that in accordance to our regular process, the board evaluates Dr. Escamilla in terms of board relations and community, state, and national relations, fiscal operations, instructional and student service programs, employee and human resource operations, and leadership. In addition, he provides his own self-evaluation and provides us an opportunity to review his state of the college report to us. The board has been very pleased with Dr. Escamilla's service in the last year. We know that he remains committed to Del Mar College and is a leader who is respected by faculty, staff, students, and our community. We know that you have demonstrated your leadership capabilities most recently in a time of crisis during COVID-19, prior to that during hurricanes and other events that have occurred at the college. You have brought us a reaccreditation process with our our regional accrediting body, SAC-COC, and have brought us a very, very robust and excellent report from them with only one minor item that needs correction. Financially, the college is in good shape, and you're making some very strong decisions related to the future financial health of the college. And so we wanted to offer you these proposed additions and modifications to the president's contract. A 1% pay raise effective September 1st of 2020. 1 year addition to the contract term. So we're adding an additional year to your contract term. And a $15,000 performance bonus to be paid by September 4th, 2020. Is there a motion to adopt those additions and modifications to the president's contract?
So moved.
Thank you,
so
Ms.
moved.
Second. Thank
Or
you.
second.
Regent Hutchison, I think I saw you first. Would like the opportunity for the board to make comments before we act on that motion. So Regent Estrada, I see your mic open, so I invite you to make comments.
I am so sorry. It's not supposed to be open, but yes, thank you, Dr. Escamilla, for all you've done.
Are there other regents? All right, with a motion and second on the floor, then all those in favor of the contract additions and modifications, please say aye. I'm sorry, let's do a roll call vote. Regent Estrada.
Yes.
Regent Hutchison,
Yes.
Regent Adami, Regent Adami.
Yes.
Thank you. Regent Averett,
Yes.
Regent Sherwood,
Yes.
Regent Bennett,
No.
and Regent Scott. I vote yes, so that motion passes. Thank you very much again, Dr. Escamilla. Are there any, I would like to make a comment. I have asked Regent Hutchison, and she has agreed to review our evaluation process over the next few months. There were discussions, both requests from individual regents, comments that we made about the instrument as well as the process, and I know Dr. Escamilla has some input into that as well. So she is going to do a review of our process, our instrument, and come back to the board with recommendations. So I'm sure she's going to be visiting with each of you individually, doing a little bit of research and potentially going to some sessions during our virtual annual conference maybe, and obviously interviewing Dr. Escamilla to see about potential changes, and hope to hear back from her at some point late fall, so that as we enter this time period again next spring, we have an agreed upon revisions to that instrument into the process. So thank you, Regent Hutchison, for taking that on. Are there any other questions or comments? We do have calendaring to review for our upcoming meetings. Dr. Escamilla, do you have specific items that you want to hold out for us?
I am relogging on. Bear with me.
That's all right. That's okay. Our next regular scheduled meeting is on Tuesday, September 8th. We do have a 9 a.m. workshop because we have a number of items we're going to workshop that day. And then we will have our regular meeting at 1 p.m. on the 8th as well. As per our action item today, we will have a special called meeting on September 22nd to interview and decide on a replacement for to fill the unexpired term in District 1. If you all recall that we are going to have virtual Association of Community College Trustees Annual Leadership Congress that will be the first week of October. I think a great advantage here is that all sessions will be recorded, and you'll have an opportunity either during that week or in the days to come afterwards to attend as many sessions as you would like. So the opportunity where we've had sometimes conflicting sessions, there'll be an opportunity to look at a number of different sessions. And then our next regular meeting after that is October the 13th.
The only date that I'd like to add, Madam Chair, is the week of October 26th. That, as we start inching into the middle part of fall, that will be the week that our SAC COC virtual visit will be upon us, and we will be spending. I have cleared, and as will many people here at the college, we will clear our calendars to be absolutely attentive to every one of their needs. And our intent is to finish strong. We've entered this phase in a very extremely strong position, and we intend to finish strong. We're taking nothing lightly. So just FYI, for that particular week, it'll be a really intense week, because our aim is to gain all that we can from the team that's going to be giving us their time, because they are volunteers. That's the way the system works. And we are looking to maximize their time to improve and otherwise polish up our QEP, or Quality Enhancement Plan. So just a little bit more information on that. That's very important to us.
All right, seeing no further business, the board meeting is adjourned at 12:51 p.m.